If your advertising feed is anything like mine, well, I'm sorry, first of all. Second of all, you've seen advertisements for the OhSnap Luxe, or Luxe. I'm still not entirely certain. Up until recently, the most current edition was 4. Now we are in 5. This is the OhSnap Grip. It is, quote, stupid thin, and it is the phone grip that doesn't suck. The question is, should they be shooting higher than that? Let's go with similarities between the two first. They are both, quote, and this is again straight from their advertising, stupid thin. Just absolutely ridiculously thin. If you look on the phone here, you can see the camera bump there, and that there, and that's insane. They both have the same internal mechanisms to the point where I actually don't think anything has changed. Comfort and everything seems to be exactly the same, to me anyway, where it comes up in this little like plasticky pyramid type thing, and you can stick your finger through it, or you can hold it like this. It spins, which is kind of neat. The little middle part spins. The magnet, the outer rim magnets do not. And again, we are still in the similarities, if you recall. It goes into one of these little stand dealios. Unfortunately, if you've got a fold, it's not useful. Well, it's useful if you're not unfolded, but why would you be? It also doesn't really work for portrait mode, which is, again, unfortunate, but the fact that it works for landscape is a nice little bonus. Another very, very cool thing this grip does is be magnetic. Which brings me to an important point. These double-sided magnetic grips, possibly one of the best accessories you can have for the Z Fold 7. You put one of these guys on there, and suddenly you can put your larger MagSafe accessories on again. Maybe I'll have a little workshop on that one day, a little mini video. They are both equally as comfortable as far as I can tell. Nothing's really different there. It is a little pinchy. Not like horrifically uncomfortably so. My hands are a little bit on the larger side, so I'm always a little reluctant to say, oh, this is very uncomfortable. It is noticeable, which is less than ideal. So if you have hands on the larger side, you might not like something like this, but you can, of course, still use it kind of like a pop socket where you do that sort of thing. Anyway, getting a little bit off track here. They both do magnetic charge through, which I'll show you I'll show you now. Why not? Now you might be wondering, Steve, why did you just take down your S25 to show off the wireless charging? And that is because the Z Fold 7 plays weird with MagSafe wireless charging. That case in particular does not have G2 capabilities. Not only that, just in general, the Z Fold 7 cases are worse at charge through than the 25 Ultra. But here's the 5. And we have that first number, 1 hour 41. That second number, 1 hour 15. That means that it's getting the G2 charging. And that is with the new grip. With the old grip, same thing. 141. 115. We're going to call a quick timeout to bring up the fact that the channel is currently in the middle of a rolling milestone-based giveaway. So every subscriber milestone we hit, I'm going to give away an item. We just have cases, grips, stands. At least one of these is going to be given away. You don't have to be a subscriber to win. Full details are in this video, linked here. It will also be in the end screen. So if you want to watch the rest of this review first and then go sign up for the giveaway, really a better plan. I hope to see you there. Now you're probably like, Steve, what even is the difference? Why did they update it? Well, there are some differences. Probably the most glaring one is that the 5 no longer comes with the adhesive that the 4 did on the back. There, that's a good angle for it. The 4, you can see that tacky adhesive. That's so it could go directly onto a case or onto a phone, regardless of whether or not it had MagSafe. It wasn't that great for things that did have MagSafe because the entire purpose of MagSafe is being able to hot swap things, and that made it semi-permanent. Because every time you take it off, the adhesive works less and less. At this point, this adhesive doesn't work at all. However, if you didn't want the adhesive, you could just take it off. It takes maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes with a putty knife or a butter knife. So really all this is doing is giving people less options. The second thing that's different is the new version is about 0.5 millimeter thicker than the old. And the only thing I can think of for that being the case is because the new version has this plastic thing going around the inside, whereas the old version is just paper. Just like a cardboardy type thing, which I imagine if it got wet in a certain, maybe it fell apart. Yeah, I could easily rip this. One thing I do think is interesting is if you look closely, you see right there? It says Luxe 4 or Snap 4. That is the 5. Snap 4. That lends a little bit of credibility to my thought that the internals are the same. The new one still says it's the 4 on the part that is the grip part. And probably the biggest actual difference between these two things is the magnets. They are significantly weaker. See, this is the 4. No, I came apart, but mostly holding on there pretty good. When I used the forceometer, it was about 18 newtons to pull it straight off. Decently strong. The new one, bet you can't guess what's gonna happen here. Oh, bet you didn't guess that, did you? I didn't either. The new one is bucking my previous testing right now. That wasn't hard though. So yeah, it's about 10 newtons to pull it off, but it's holding on a lot better to this case. Oh, that's because this is the grip. Yeah, the magnets in this case are insanely strong, so that's being part of it. You see, these are the MagSafe rings I just have on my desk because I like to test things at all times, but like pulling that off, it's not easy, not hard either. So 10 newtons feels about right. But yeah, that's on there. I worried that I would break it if I pulled any harder than this. So, dang. So the 5 is thicker and the magnets are weaker. It's possible the internals are a little bit better protected, but other than that, it is the same grip just without the adhesive. So honestly, I can't recommend getting it over the 4. If you can get your hands on the 4, get a 4. It's better. Also, there's this weirdness. Check this out. Some of the magnets are pushing against MagSafe magnets, which seems like maybe that's the issue. The magnets are weaker. Maybe some of them are installed backwards. Again, I barely understand how magnets work, but what I can tell you is that was not the case on the older version. Also, what I can also tell you is that I probably shouldn't have done that. But yeah, there's no opposing force here. If that was intentional, I don't know why. But yeah, if you've got the 4, I'd save the money. Don't bother with the 5. Hold out. Maybe the 6 will be an actual upgrade. If you are looking at getting one for your first time, try to get your hands on a 4. That's I guess the best advice. If you can still find them. I know they carry these at like Best Buy. Their marketing campaign is excellent, but perhaps if they had spent less on marketing and more on R&D, this wouldn't be an issue. Or maybe it's just the fact that they need to shoot higher than just doesn't suck. There are a lot of good grips out there these days, and not sucking just isn't good enough. Both the 5 and the 4 do still get the Purple Room seal of approval. They both are decent enough grips worth using. I would take the 5 over a lot of other grips, but I'd take the 4 over the 5. Maybe next time you design a new version of something, make it better than the old way. And if you already signed up for the giveaway, why don't you go ahead and watch that review. My name is Steve, this is the Purple Room. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.